Hi everyone. Okay, so I'm going to be doing a video today that have been requested quite a lot, really. A lot of the FAQ piercing videos I do kind of get the I always get the same kind of questions, which is, you know, what are some things that I dislike about the community? What are some things I dislike about being modified? Do I face much discrimination? And what are some things that aren't necessarily so nice? Now, I wanted to do a video on this because I think it's very, very important to let people know actually that being modified and have loads of piercings and stuff and like all the tattoos and all that kind of thing isn't necessarily always received very well, and there is a lot of like bad stuff that some of us have to deal with. Just before I do that, I want you to comment down below some positive messages about things you love about the community. Anyway, let's get on with the video. So I'm going to start off with a few lighthearted things first, and that is headphones. I can no longer wear headphones. I cannot do it because they will not go inside my ears. More so my right ear than my left ear, because that's how I've got more piercings, that's more invasive here. My anti-tragus piercing basically says no headphone is going past that. I can't even use those little bud ones, the tiny little ones that go right in your ear. My left ear is not too bad. Now that I do have my conch punch through, it doesn't take up as much space as when I used to have a big ball on the end of it. But my tragus piercing here as well, if I do wear headphones, after a while they do kind of ache. So I cannot actually wear normal headphones anymore. The only ones I can actually wear are these kind of big ones that actually go right over the ear, and they kind of sit like that. Now I can wear these for maybe about an hour before my ears start to ache. Now this doesn't impact my life that much anyway, so it's not a big deal. It was my choice. Now the next point is sleeping. Now just before any of you call me out on this, because I know I've said before, and I say it quite several times, when people ask me how do you sleep, it annoys me so much because I just sleep like anyone else. However, I kind of feel like I've adapted a sleeping technique that my ears don't really even touch the pillow. When I lie down, the pillow kind of comes against this part of my face and maybe sometimes here, above my head, this head bit here, and it never really touches my ears. The only problem is, which I do find, is if I'm at someone else's house or I'm sleeping somewhere else and the pillows are different and it might be a little bit firmer, then sometimes it can be a little bit difficult because then, you know, I'm used to sleeping with my stuff. Another time that I do struggle with lying down and stuff is if I'm on a sofa and I want to rest my head against the arm, or even if I'm sitting next to someone and I want to rest my head on the shoulder or something. I can't really do that very easily because it's a lot more tricky to kind of angle myself that my piercings don't really touch them, because any real force against it will obviously ache. And one more thing with this is when you first get piercings, when you're sleeping and you roll over and you might clip them, then yeah, that is when it's really annoying. And sometimes you can wake up and there's blood on your pillow. Sometimes you can wake up and they really, really ache and they might have little bumps on them because you've pulled them when you sleep. So the next one is changing clothes. Oh my gosh, you have to become so weird sometimes when you change your clothes, especially when you're at my level and there's so many kind of out everywhere. You have to be so careful when you change your clothes that you don't rip them out, or you don't rip them when you're pulling off a jumper. I like to wear my clothes so tight. You can probably tell, I don't know if you can tell very much about this t-shirt, but it's really tight against my body. So when I take this off, I find it really difficult because I kind of have to stretch it along my head. When I had the back of my neck done a long time ago, I had my nape pierced. I've had it done twice over my time. I also had both of my wrists pierced. Trying to get changed with them on was so annoying because it just took you a long time to get used to having a piercing there, because it's a very unusual location. Gosh, I'm talking so fast in this video. I'm really sorry. I just realized that I'm going. It's because my microphone's gonna die soon, so I'm trying to get as much as I can before the microphone dies. Why do you drain so much battery, you little bitch? So getting into more of maybe more serious stuff is healing process. Oh my gosh, cartilage piercings mainly. I recently got a new piercing. I'm not gonna tell you what it is yet because the video hasn't come out yet. But it's been such a pain. It's been such a pain to get cleaning it and things because of where it is. I've caught it already when I'm sleeping. I've laid on it when I'm sleeping. It's been very sore and it has been very, very annoying. Healing process of piercings is frustrating, and it annoys me that it takes so long to heal. When you get piercings, you have to be dedicated and really want them. You can't just get them and be I'll change it in a week, blah, blah, blah. No, when you get piercings, you have to be in it for the long haul. You have to do it right, else you're gonna get infections. You're gonna reject, your body's gonna reject it, and it's just gonna look gross. I cannot stand people who have loads of piercings but don't look after them, and they've got bumps all over them. There's crusty stuff all over it. I'm it just looks repulsive. It doesn't look very good at all. If your piercing is clearly rejecting, take it out. If your piercing is clearly got loads of scabs and stuff all over it, clean it. Why would you just So the next point is discrimination. Now I have done an entire video on this, which you can go and watch, but I'm gonna kind of like graze over this a little bit in this one. Definitely people's perceptions of you do change, and they make snap judgments of you. Now this is a natural humanly thing that people do. You see a group of people, you see a load of people, whatever, and you instantly kind of make assumptions of people just of who they are, if you would like them, if you would talk to them. Like, it's just a natural thing that people do. I do it, you do it. If people say they don't do it, then I'm gonna say, I'm sorry, you're probably making a lie there. But when you're modified like this, you get a lot of people just think you're a drug addict, you're just rebelling, you're doing it for attention, you had a bad childhood, your issues, just trying to, you're just trying to lash out, you don't work, you live off welfare. They make a lot of snap judgments about you, and you kind of just have to let it go over your head and realize that I'm a lovely person, not to toot my own horn. What other people think about me is none of my business. For example, a few days ago at work, I had someone come in. First of all, they asked me if I was Russian. I don't know what that's about. I normally get people asking me if I'm Polish all the time. I don't know why. Maybe Polish people look the way I do. I don't know. So he came into me and was like, "Are you Russian?" And I was like, "Lol, no." I was like, "Do I sound Russian?" And then he followed up his question with, "Do you know anywhere I could buy magic mushrooms? I just thought I'd ask you because, and sort of just did some weird hand gesture. And in my head, I was like, so you think I look like a drug dealer? You think I look like someone who does drugs? You're clearly basing this on the fact that I've got a skinhead and I've got piercings. Like, I'm in a work uniform. Like, I'm at work, I'm in uniform, everyone else around me is wearing the same thing. So it's not like I'm wearing weird clothing that says like, take me to your dealer. You're merely making this judgment because of this. Now the next one is invasive questions. I don't know what it is about being different or being modified or just anything like when you look a little bit more androgynous or anything. People seem to think they have the right to ask you really, really personal questions about what does your parents think about that? Do you have downstairs pierced? Or how low do your piercings go? All this kind of stuff. And I'm like, who are you? I don't know who you are. And you're asking me about personal family life. You're asking me about my genitals. You're asking me about things that I don't want to talk to you about because you have no business in knowing that. I haven't really had the best childhood myself, so like my dad is dead and my mum was like a drug addict and stuff, so like one of those things, like when people ask me like, what do your parents think? I'm like, oh, they're dead. And then it's just like, oh. Yeah, I regret asking that question now, didn't you, bitch? Another one is jobs. Like, we're definitely getting better. Society is definitely moving on. If you want to work outside of like a creative industry, and you want to work in an office, or you want to work in, like, say you want to work retail, a lot of retail jobs won't allow you to look the way I look. A lot of officey jobs will make you wear a suit and make you look professional. We're definitely getting there, but a lot of jobs still discriminate against alternative people. I work in a creative industry anyway. Like, I want to, ultimately I want YouTube to be my job, and I want to be like a video editor for someone or work in social media. So for me, being alternative and looking different isn't a barrier because, in those kind of industries, you are able to look yourself. And especially to me, I have spoken a little bit before, I'm not going to go too much into this, brand deals on YouTube, a lot of companies won't work with me because I look weird and they're too scared to take a risk on me. Again, it's stupid because you guys are so interactive and you comment, I get so many comments, so many likes, all this kind of stuff, and you guys are incredible and I love you for that. When brands say to me they won't work with me because I look too different and there's too much of a risk, I'm like, well, you're missing out on a lot of interaction. And the last thing about people is people have to get used to you having piercings. And I'm not saying about the way you look, but like even now, like sometimes a friend will go to like hit me or like jokingly hit me or like push me or like go to like put their arm around me and they might catch my ear as they're doing it and it really aches. Like people have to get used to you having like piercings in places that people don't normally have piercings, or to the stage where I am where like you can't really touch my ears at all because you snag something. And I remember again when I had the back of my neck done, my brother once came round and put his arm around me and pushed into my nape piercing and it really hurt. And I was like, ow! I remember when I was in New York last year, I had a scarf on and one of my friends behind me pulled my scarf off like as a joke and it ripped past my earring and it was really painful. So like people have to get used to you having piercings to them to adapt to some of the things they might do to you. And also you have to get used to people staring at you. At work, oh my gosh, the level of gawping that happens at my work towards me is like astronomical. Like I also work in a slightly more rougher area in London where people aren't looking like me, they're definitely more conforming because if you stand out, you'll be attacked. So I stand out a lot, especially when I have my nail varnish on and I've got my eyes done and things, like people will gawp at you and people can say to you, well, you made that choice. And I have made that choice and I'm very happy that I made that choice and it's not something that I'm gonna change. But sometimes it can be annoying when I just wanna go to the shop and I don't really look my best or whatever and people are staring at you and it's just a bit kind of like, ugh. Go away. And one thing I also want to talk about is the community. Like any community, there are also bad eggs, there are also good eggs. Like, you know, any community is going to have the extreme people and the non-extreme people, whatever. Most of the hate that I get, like, from my piercings and stuff comes from inside of the community telling me I'm a bad influence, I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not even a real modifier because, you know, I've only got normal piercings, I don't have anything extreme, which I think is completely ludicrous. Like, when people have this many piercings, don't tell me that I'm not part of the community. Like, shut up, bitch. I get the same thing in the LGBT community. A lot of people say to me that I'm, you know, making the gays look bad because I'm so effeminate and, you know, I should act like a man. So within the communities, there's always going to be bad eggs who try to bring you down. I know what I'm going on about. You know, I love the way that I look, and just because I don't have like tattoos on my face or my tongue split or, you know, elf ears doesn't mean I'm not part of the community. I love body modification. I clearly have a lot of piercings. Like, I'm in the community. Deal with it, bitch. I just find that sometimes people can be very toxic and be very sort of like, I'm gonna bring you down because I'm not successful like you, or I'm gonna bring you down because, you know, I've got my tongue split and people aren't recognizing me, or I've got my elf ears and people aren't recognizing me. Good for you. But I do want to finally say I love being modified and I love being different and I love standing out the way that I do, and it's not something that I'm embarrassed about or ashamed of and sad about. I have to deal with a lot of this stuff, but I'm fine with it now. Like, I've kind of come into peace with a lot of it, and I'm getting more piercings. I'm not stopping, and I'm carrying modifying myself for the rest of my life. Thank you so much for staying to the end of the video. Make sure you do comment down below, obviously, some of your favorite things about being like pierced or modified or whatever. And also come and follow me on my Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. All that stuff is in the description. Come follow me. We can have a nice little chat. Massive shout out to Kelly, Stephanie, and Teresa, who are my top 3 patrons. I love you so much. Thank you for making me do this full time. Go down the link below. There is a Patreon link down there, and you can maybe help me out. And I love you and thank you, and hit the like button, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye.